Elio guys, and welcome back to another episode of Infinite Magicraid, and in today's video we're going to be covering Ariel. This one was actually requested via Discord, so if you guys ever want to have a hero that I haven't reviewed yet, feel free to leave those in the comments below so that can hopefully be my next Infinite Magicraid video here. But a little bit about Ariel, she's a legendary as we can see right here. She's also an attacker type, and she's also the green mark, so she could be very potentially helpful for you in the Tower of Mark if you lack any of the hard-hitting green mark units here. So let's go into detail about her skills. So for her basic attack skill, which is called exotic shooting, this skill right here deals 280% attack damage to a single enemy, and with this skill fully booked up though, it goes up to 360% attack damage, which is pretty standard for a legendary. So moving on to her second skill though, because Ariel's weird in the fact that she has two passive skills instead of one. She has hidden arrow attack, and what this passive skill does is exotic shooting and charge energy arrow, which is her ultimate skill. Obviously just the only two skills that she has that does anything with the user's input. Both of these moves deal extra damage by 27% of this attack to two enemies with the lowest HP when Ariel is under concealment or stealth status. So in order to get the additional increase in your damage from both of her moves, she needs to have a constant source of either concealment or stealth up there for this to activate. Now with this move fully booked up, the damage does get raised to a whopping 39%, which is pretty chunky if you're taking into account her ultimate, which already does some very good damage right there. But once again, she needs something with stealth and concealment to take advantage of this passive, because if she isn't under these when this happens, well, it doesn't add in the extra damage, so keep that in mind. And then for her other passive, which is called concealment, Ariel grants herself concealment at the beginning of each wave. Ariel acts for one turn immediately and deals 40% more damage within this turn when concealment is removed. She then gains concealment again whenever an ally dies or she kills an enemy right here. So clicking on the skill, just in case you're curious about what a skill actually does. So the basic gist of concealment is the enemy cannot target you, and obviously if they hit you with an AoE, that's going to bring you out of it. So one of the biggest selling points that's going to make Ariel very good is making sure that she can go first to take, full advantage of the concealment buff. And then it doesn't matter if she gets it after that, because I already got my damage off, bro. But with this fully booked up, she does receive a 20% attack damage increase. And keep in mind that this already deals 40% more damage within the turn that she's doing one of her two skills with concealment up. So that's already very chunky, because that tops out at 60% more damage. And then for her ultimate here, called Charge Energy Arrow, without books it has a 4-turn cooldown, and it deals 600% attack damage to a single enemy. Now with this skill fully booked up though, we're looking at a whopping 780% attack damage to a single enemy, and then it also gets reduced down to 3 turns. But once again, the money maker right here is keeping in mind that if she has concealment up, not only does she get the boost in damage from her first passive, but also the second passive, meaning Ariel's weakness, or her Achilles heel, shall I say, is concealment slash stealth, but I want to say it's really just concealment that you need to worry about most of all. So if you can strip that baby girl of that, then I wouldn't say there's nothing to worry about, but things will go a lot better for you. And then taking a look at her exclusive weapon called Hidden Arrow, level 1, her Hidden Arrow attack increases the extra damage by 20%. Remember, that's her first skill. For level 2, if Ariel is not under concealment, she will enter concealment status when the turn ends, and this has its own separate cooldown by 3 turns, which is very interesting because her exclusive weapon, not saying that you're going to get multiple copies of her, kind of helps her make sure that concealment is up for that additional damage, which I think is very, very good. And then at level 3, she also gains 20% more crit rate and 30% more crit damage when she is under stealth or concealment status. That is absolutely huge, because Sia, which is the samurai baby girl, she has concentration increase, which is a dedicated move to get something like this. But Ariel, as long as you have concealment up, which hopefully by the time that you have 4 copies of her to have her exclusive weapon to +3, hopefully you understand how to use her properly. And that's huge, because that means that single target damage modifier is going to be even more gruesome. It's going to be easier to get her with max crit rate, and then so you can focus on crit damage. Then at level 4 and 5, she does get that speed increase as well. And with a base speed of 995, she isn't slow, but obviously with her exclusive weapon and with gear, she can be fairly quick. I'm not going to say that she's going to be the quickest, but she's going to be fairly quick. So her speed at base value is just average, I would say. And we're going to end this off with a preview, and obviously I will also include what I would personally recommend for her gear right here. But once again, even though she only has 2 skills, I tried this right before the video, she actually does AoE damage. It doesn't really say that or describe that for her, but she does AoE damage. If you're doing her basic attack, that's an AoE. If you do her ultimate, once again, that is a huge AoE. Even though these guys are taking less damage than the focused target, as we can see right there, it's kind of like bleeding off into them, because that's 300 something, that's 120, 120. You're still getting extra damage just by using her in general. So overall, I do think Ariel is a very interesting unit to have. Obviously being paired up with someone like Vera, who's a supporter who naturally does, I want to say, stealth, and can like also increase the crit rate of your units, could make Ariel a very interesting type of unit to fight. Now, if you're up against other targets that use AoE, well, that's going to be problematic because she's just going to get hit. So the main selling point is just making sure that she can act. And in terms of the campaign mode, once again, if there's AoE on the field, well, there's not much you can do. But if you can outspeed the source that's causing the AoE, then hopefully she can do some work for you. So I wouldn't consider her as a campaign carry, but she is a nice, I guess, sprinkle on the side DPS, shall I say. But thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll catch you guys in the next Infinite Magicraid video.